if you think, oh man, I'm just a beginner, I don't know anything, oh, well, you're in the right place, because I'm about to show you and teach you some stuff that you could start doing, and then your friends will be like, whoa, dude, you must have been flying for like 7 years. And you'll be like, ha, yeah, nah. 7 days. Hey everybody, welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, and in this video, I want to share with you my top 3 flight tips for beginners, talking about skills that you can implement today and start becoming a better quadcopter pilot. So stay tuned, we're going to dive into them right now. We're going to do a building dive into them. We're going to do a split S reverse Matty flip. All right, let's get into it. Tip number 1, throttle management. With a quadcopter, throttle is life, okay? Because the throttle means that all the motors go or they don't go. So when you're flying around, there's going to be a perfect throttle setting for cruising. You know, for at any given angle that you're moving through the air, there's going to be a good throttle setting, a percentage, you might even say, of your throttle stick movement. The best way to practice throttle management is to actually just take your quadcopter, whatever kind of quadcopter it is, and just look at it. Now, this is assuming it doesn't have auto hold, altitude hold. Try to get it to hover. Like try and get it rock steady hovering, okay? And just make tiny, teeny, tiny little changes to the throttle. Just a little bit. Take it up a tiny little bit, wait a little while, and then see what your quadcopter does. Same thing for descending. Now you'll notice that there's a little delay, there's a lag, and that's what gets people, because they think like, oh, you know, my quadcopter isn't doing anything, I gotta give it a lot of throttle. Well, you actually don't, because then your quadcopter goes whoop-ah, and it just like smashes into the ceiling, and then there's like a hole in your roof. And not that that's ever happened to me before. Whoop-ah! But something like that could happen. The same thing happens with descending a lot of times. Actually, it's kind of the opposite in a way. It's like, but a similar concept with this descending. When your quadcopter is descending, it starts going down. And so you've got to give it extra amount of throttle to stop its descent. You know what I mean? Because it's like falling, and you got to give it enough of a boost to get it back up to where you want it and maintain that. But as soon as you start getting your quadcopter going up, you got to take the throttle out a little bit, so that way you don't go past, you know, kind of that predetermined height that you decided you want your quadcopter to be at.
I don't have enough gas, so I got to give it gas. But then since I gave it gas, it goes too high, and then I give it no gas. And so then if I'm out of sync, it really is like it technically is, I think, called out of sync.
Yeah, you gotta get
waves.
You gotta get in sync.
Gotta get in sync.
So that is the biggest one, throttle management. The next fantastic tip is turn with both sticks when you're flying around. Now this is especially useful for FPV pilots, the first person view pilots. Like I'm talking like, you know, drone racing style. Maybe something like this budget basher 5-inch quadcopter FPV racing drone that I happen to have a build series on. Or maybe something like this Emax Tiny Hawk that I also have a bunch of videos about, because these little micro quads, they're super fun. So when you're flying around, you want to take both your thumbs, if you use your thumbs, you probably do, and turn them, use both of them when you turn. Now, how much you have to move each thumb kind of depends on your rates, like your sensitivity of the sticks. But basically, when you move both of your thumbs, you're going to be doing what's called a coordinated turn, okay? So it's basically like, instead of just trying to, if my hand is the quadcopter, because it looks just like one, you're flying forward, instead of just trying to yaw by turning your left thumb stick, which is on the throttle, which is going to cause you, I'm moving towards you, and then if I yaw this way, well, I'm still moving towards you, but I just pointed that way, and that's how you crash. That's a great way of crashing, actually. And then the other way is, if I'm moving towards you, and then all I do is roll, well, I'm kind of going this way, but mostly I'm just sideways, and then I crash. So what you want to do is you want to yaw and roll at the same time, so that you can turn and you get this nice little thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like a fighter jet, okay? So that's kind of what you want to do. Now, that's going to change a little bit depending on how much camera angle you have, so how much your quadcopter is tilted as it's flying forward. It's really, really going to help you as you become a better FPV pilot. And last but not least, and this is going to be very useful to you as a beginner quadcopter pilot or any kind of RC drone pilot, is learn to cut the throttle as soon as you crash, or lower the throttle, or flip the arm switch if you have an arm switch. Because a lot of people, when they first get started, they're just, they're not used to, all the switches and buttons, and they don't have that hand-eye coordination and the reflexes that awesome drone pilots have, which you will someday have too. But what you want to do is you want to practice. You get your transmitter, pretend that you're flying around, and get a buddy to say, like, you just crashed, and then you disarm or you lower the throttle. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is, well, say you're flying along and you hit a tree, and then you don't take the throttle out. Well, your quadcopter is going to be like flying around all crazy, at half throttle, and then it's going to go hit another tree and do all kinds of weird stuff. Or it might just be on the ground upside down, and then you're spinning the motors, but the motors can't really spin, so then they generate heat, and then stuff catches on fire, and you're like, it's fire, and it's not, but not like fire, like that's fire. It's like fire. It's not good fire. So get in the habit. Anytime that you crash, just lower the throttle immediately. Practice that until it becomes second nature, and it will save you a drone, propellers, maybe even your fingers, who knows. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope these 3 tips were helpful. Hit that like button if it was, and I wish you the best on your journey as an aspiring drone pilot. I think you're going to do great. And hey, I have a bunch of other videos like this one talking about helpful tips and fun things that you can do with drones and RC stuff. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button and check out my channel.
Please subscribe to my channel.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy flying.